Good evening, everyone. We're just waiting for folks to trickle in. We'll start in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, please introduce yourselves in the chat. We'd love to know who's here and where you're from.
Oh, wow. Look at this. We have folks from coming in from Chicago. Oh, now it's moving fast. Sunrise, Florida, Oak Park, Sunnyvale. Ooh, look at this. Oregon, Milton, Pennsylvania, Bloomfield, Connecticut, DC, Ann Arbor. Ooh, even the great state of New Jersey, Saqib. This is this is quite a diverse, awesome crew we got.
Uh, yeah, this is amazing. Just so many folks coming in.
Oh man. Let's see. Lansing.
Florida, New Mexico.
Yeah, Coldwater, Michigan. Whereabouts on that mitten is Coldwater? I wonder if the name is literal and figurative. Let's see. Oh, this is great. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Which? Oh, this is. Oh, I see you, Elmwood Park, New Jersey. It's exciting stuff.
Can anyone tell Anna Lilias from New Jersey?
Yeah, can anyone tell?
So, we are, good evening, folks. We're getting ready to start, but before we do, we're going to kick it off to our interpreters to help us understand how to listen to this call in Spanish.
Yes, thank you, Saki. So we really want to honor Kara's commitment to language justice. This is why we're going to have simultaneous interpretation into Spanish. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the instructions in Spanish for those who want to listen to the space in Spanish. Entonces, bueno, hoy vamos a tener interpretación en español simultánea. Queremos honrar el compromiso de Acres a la justicia del lenguaje y para que usted, y si usted quiere escuchar este evento en español, recuerde que necesita hacer clic en el globo donde dice interpretación. Va a estar en la parte inferior derecha de su pantalla y en este caso elija el idioma pues que desea escuchar, que sería español, y recuerde silenciar el audio original. Si está conectado a Zoom desde su teléfono, toque los tres puntos que van a estar en la esquina inferior derecha de su pantalla, donde dice más o more, y elija interpretación de idiomas. De nuevo, elija español y a continuación toque hecho. Y recuerde también silenciar el audio original. Y esperamos que disfruten de la reunión. Over to you, Saki.
Thank you, Vanessa. So, good evening, everybody. My name is Sakib Bhatti. I'm the Executive Director of Bargaining for the Common Good, based in Chicago. We build community labor alliances to take on the billionaires and mega corporations driving racial and economic harm. And we are so thrilled to have over 400 people joining us tonight. I'm going to pass it to my co-MC, Ana Lilia, to introduce herself.
Greetings, y'all. Ana Lilia Mejia. I am the co-director for Popular Democracy. We're a national network of base building, power building organizations, and we are joining in today because we know that in this moment, we have to harness all of our collective energy, all of our collective power in order to resist what is clearly before our eyes. And we know that resistance for us includes, as a base building network, as a leader that works closely with many grassroots groups, national groups across multiple networks. I know that first and foremost, our most powerful tool is our voice. Right. We know that when we inform each other, when we connect with each other, when we share our stories, we're able to transform the world. We're able to move people from that feeling of isolation, individual isolation, towards a bridge of community. But we also know that we have tremendous economic power. And so tonight we are trying to weave these two things where we are able to, one, inform each other about what are the levers that are available to us in this particular moment. Who are some of the targets that we must be clear and present to the danger they pose to democracy? And then how do we like vote with our feet, move our dollars so that they understand the power of the people. So if you're with me, I'm going to ask you to right now not only throw the thumbs up, which I see coming up on the wall in some hearts, but I want you to drop in the chat. Because I know when I think about this particular moment and these what I call the funders of hate, I am paying close attention to certain companies that I cannot wait to have them feel the pain from our collective action. I think about corporations like AT&T. I think about corporations like Home Depot. I mean, we have a long history as organizers of being clear about these actors. So I want you to put in the chat when you think about what corporations are funding the deconstruction of Reconstruction, the curtailment of rights, who are you holding in mind? Who are you paying close attention to? Who are you looking to feel the power of the people? So please drop it in the chat and let us know. Um, I if I could just for a moment, I know that we're having language justice, pero mi mamá me enseñó a hablar español y reconocer que cuando entro en un cuarto hay que reconocer a mi gente. So les doy las gracias, compañeros que se unen con nosotros aquí. Estamos aquí unidos porque sabemos que tenemos poder colectivo. Sabemos que primero tenemos el poder de nuestra voz y que nos podemos organizar como estamos haciendo ahora. Sabemos que tenemos el poder de comunicarnos e informar a nuestros compañeros y tomar acción. Y una de las acciones más poderosas que podemos tomar en este momento, estar claros de las compañías que están fundando, que le están dando los recursos a esta injusticia que está pasando en este país en este momento y utilizar esa información, conectarnos y votar con nuestros pesos, con nuestros dólares, con nuestros patrimonio a estas corporaciones. So, gracias, compas, por unirse. And thank you for allowing me to speak to my people in my native language. And now I'm going to hand it back to Sakib because I think we're going to do a little overview of like what are we doing tonight, Sakib? What call to action are we trying to move with our people?
Yeah, well, so the mission tonight, the assignment, you all know the assignment because you're here, is to figure out how we stop an authoritarian takeover. And now we're up to over 500 people on this call, so that's amazing. So we know that if we want to actually stop the takeover, we have to peel off the support from the mega corporations and billionaires that are normalizing fascism. The business community is lining up behind Trump, both because they don't want to get sideways with him and because they think Trump's policies are good for business. So let's disabuse them of that notion. We need to show them that there's a steep economic cost for enabling fascism. We need to make them afraid of getting sideways with their customers and with the general public. And we can do that through economic non-cooperation, right? So that looks like consumer boycotts, pension fund divestment, canceling state and municipal contracts with these companies, and of course, strikes, right? So you all know that we're calling for massive strikes on May Day in just 6 months to send a clear message that there'll be no business as usual as we slide towards fascism. Well, strikes don't just happen. They take a lot of organizing, discipline, resources, and training. So between now and May Day, we'll be holding 20 to 30 strike and solidarity schools in cities across the country. And we're going to share the link in a little bit where you can sign up for a strike and solidarity school. And can someone actually drop that link into the chat? Um, and then, so, as we do that, but so who are our targets, right? Ana Lilia mentioned some of them, right? Like the corporations that are and billionaires that are behind Trump's fascist agenda. Of course, there's folks like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel from Palantir. It's, the corporations y'all named in the chat. Corporations like Home Depot that are letting ICE conduct raids on their property and feeding data from the surveillance cameras to law enforcement. It's corporations like Target that are rolling back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives at Trump's behest. It's corporations like Airbnb, whose co-founder and major investor, Joe Gebbia, has been appointed Trump's chief design officer for the federal government and who's helping lead the attacks on working people. It's corporations like AT&T that have big ICE contracts. It's anti-union corporations like Starbucks, which retaliated against workers for standing with Palestine and where workers are on strike right now as we speak. And of course, it's companies like Amazon and Whole Foods, right? Amazon is a major donor to Trump and is actually helping fund the new East Wing ballroom at the White House. So you'll hear more about these corporations on this call, but what do all these companies, Home Depot, Target, Airbnb, AT&T, Starbucks, Amazon, Whole Foods have in common? Well, you can easily boycott all of them this holiday season because they're all consumer-facing brands. We can hit them in the pocketbook to clearly send the message that we ain't buying it. They also all have physical locations where we can protest and take action, right? So we're excited to partner with many of the campaigns on this call to help you take action in your communities next Friday, on Black Friday. All you need is a few friends and neighbors, a printer to print some flyers, and a willingness to stand up for our communities. So head to bit.ly/holiday-actions. We'll drop the link in the chat. Again, that's bit.ly/holiday-actions and register an event at one of these corporate kingpins in your community. Then next Friday, grab your neighbors and flyer outside the stores that are turning their backs on our communities and their workers. So to kick us off in deep dives on some of these companies, we want to hand it off to Ab West from Athena to talk about Amazon.
Hey y'all, my name is Ab West, and I'm the campaign director in the fight against corporate power for the Athena Coalition, which is made up of 50 local and statewide organizations that target Amazon. From Black Friday to Cyber Monday, Amazon enjoys its highest sales season of the year. This year, however, Amazon is not just profiting from consumer spending and worker exploitation. Amazon is also profiting from the raids and deportations that ICE is conducting across the country. The Trump administration has been laser focused on expanding ICE's activity through a 400% increase in the budget and increased hiring. Trump has also used ICE to target his political opponents. ICE is using surveillance to collect data on all of us every day, and they need large computer servers across the country to house this data. Amazon Web Services, also known as AWS, owns many of these servers. Customs and Border Protection relies heavily on AWS and hosts at least 62% of its systems on Amazon servers. In this way, AWS is the technological backbone of ICE's raids. Internal documents state that without continued access to Amazon Web Services, the Department of Homeland Security and Customs and Border Patrol would experience catastrophic nationwide outage impacts. And this is why we are demanding that Amazon cut ties with ICE. This holiday weekend's actions with We Ain't Buying It are one lever that we can pull to weaken corporate power for companies like Amazon. After the holiday weekend, Athena is going to fight to weaken Amazon's power locally and make it much harder for Amazon to operate in our communities. We will fight to end local procurement contracts with Amazon. Many city governments, county governments, and school districts are purchasing supplies from Amazon at a much higher cost than if they were using other distributors. We will fight to stop Amazon's attempts to rapidly expand warehouses and data centers in our communities, and we will demand the end of our tax dollars going to public subsidies being given to Amazon. By taking all of these steps, we will strengthen our local economies and transition them away from billionaire interests. Together, we will force Amazon and other corporations to cut ties with ICE and the Trump administration. If you want to join the long-term fight against Amazon, you can go to our website at athenaforall.org, and I'm looking forward to working with you all.
Goodness, thank you so much. Amazon, y'all, we know that we have seen countless pictures of Jeff Bezos just standing around, trying to create the illusion of a robust or steady administration, Trump administration. It is because of self-interest that they are tethered. We'll say more about the connection between oligarchy and authoritarianism. But some corporations feel very clear that they have been for some time feeding and fueling this disastrous administration. And others, maybe some folks would be maybe a little bit not only surprised or maybe want to learn more about exactly what they're doing to destroy our democracy. So here to talk about yet another corporation that has its insidious tentacles all over this madness is Sulma Arias from the People's Action Network. Sulma, please take it away. Give us some information about what's happening with AT&T and what kind of actions we can take.
Thank you, Ana Lilia, and thanks everyone for joining us tonight. So this past weekend, we and a bunch of hundreds of other people, maybe some of you on this call, showed up at the AT&T stores all across Chicago and central Illinois. We were there to demand that AT&T stop collaborating with ICE, Border Patrol, DHS, and anyone who violates our basic civil and human rights. AT&T provides the tools and technology to the people who are invading our homes and terrorizing our communities. These contracts are worth millions of dollars to AT&T, and all of this while they also benefit from the huge tax breaks that this administration just gave them, and while 15 million people just got kicked off of healthcare through the big ugly bill. So all of us, Mayday Strong, the Organizing Revival Networks, plus local organizations like the People's Lobby, One People's Campaign, ICER, the Unitary Universalists, the Chicago Teachers Union, and many more came together to deliver a message. This holiday, we are not buying it. We're not giving you your phones as presents. We're not upgrading nor buying new phones. And those hundreds of millions of dollars that you plan to make from all the Christmas sales will not be coming from us. They will not be coming from our communities, because together we're saying no. We said no to ICE, we say no to AT&T, and no to anyone who's profiting from our pain. So this holiday season, we want to ask everyone, everyone here is invited, and we must do it together, to say no. Say no with us. Don't buy or upgrade any AT&T products or plan or any plans until they dump their contracts with ICE, DHS, CBP. And please take the pledge. To sign the pledge, I think maybe it will be dropped here in the chat, but you can visit ppls.ac/drop-ice to sign our petition, Vota ICE en Español. And if you must have a phone, remember, some of this still work, but if you must have a phone company this holiday season, please avoid AT&T, avoid T-Mobile, remember, because they also support Trump's anti-democratic regime, and there is a boycott on them right now. So if you need to sign up a new plan this holiday season, please avoid those companies. Tell AT&T to stop collaborating with those who terrorize our communities. And we're just getting started. We are onto their scheme. And we can do this if we do it together. Stay strong, stay together, porque juntos podemos. Muchísimas gracias. Back to you, Ana Lilia.
Handing it to Saqib.
Thank you, Solma. So yes, Evan, you heard it here. It's time to say no to AT&T. Please head to the link and join the pledge. So next up, we have Pablo Alvarado from the National Day Laborer Organizing Network, or NDLN.
Buenas noches, buenas tardes to everyone. I am the co-director of NDLN, the National Day Laborer Network, and we are in a network of 70 worker and community organizations across the country. And for us, Home Depot has become ground zero of the cruel immigration enforcement. And of course, I come here with a broken heart because I've seen so many families that have been impacted in ways that I never thought could happen in this country. NDLN is not taking a position or calling for a boycott at this moment, but we are not opposing anyone or judging anyone to do it if other groups wish to do so. And the reason why we're not taking a position is because we work with the day labor community, and they are not boycotting the Home Depot. They actually need Home Depot to get a day of work and to be able to feed their families. Doesn't mean that in the future we might. Of course, we have to consult with workers in this sense. We want to make sure that Home Depot is a good corporate neighbor, and that's the right thing. So the demands that we have, because we are, even though we're not calling for that boycott, we are exerting uh, pressure to build whatever leverage is needed for Home Depot to take a position. The first thing that we want Home Depot to do is to issue a full condemnation of these raids. And they haven't so far. They're saying that they're not colluding with them. We don't have evidence whether they are or whether they are not. But they should issue a full condemnation, because it's not just impacting day laborers, it's their customers, their employees, community members as well. And the second demand that we have is that they should exercise every legal option to disallow ICE from their property, whether it's the parking lot or inside their stores. Like many other businesses, they can lock down the stores and ask for a judicial warrant in case they're looking for somebody in particular. They can do all of that. Number three is we want transparency. There is a strong suspicion that flock technology is being used to aid raids, but again, we don't have any evidence. If there are folks here that might have evidence, we will share it with us. But at this point, we don't. But these are the simple things the very simple demands that we're asking from Home Depot. I have dropped a link in the chat, ice@homedepot.org, in case you want to plan an ICE at a Home Depot action. We can assist you in that effort. Again, brothers and sisters, thank you so much on behalf of the day labor community.
Gracias, Pablo, and gracias, Endelan. Like many thanks for the incredible work that y'all do with such a vulnerable community. Y'all, I have to say, I started to say this before, when you think about this moment, it feels like there are two main characters that are kind of at the forefront of this madness, of this pain, of this, destruction of democracy. On one hand, you have the autocrat, the authoritarian, the violent authoritarian that is content to destroy democracy. And we have to be really clear, at the core, at its essence, an authoritarian is quite simply a corrupt politician who has gotten the taste of stealing from community and using government to facilitate their personal enrichment. And now they want to stay out of jail because they will break laws and they will break things in order to enrich themselves. But they know that what they are doing is, in fact, criminal. And then the oligarch, the second main nefarious character. The oligarch, similar to the authoritarian, has gotten a taste from stealing from community and using government to enrich themselves. What does the authoritarian and the oligarch have in common? A common enemy, and that is us, my friends. An informed populace that understands the grift is real, that understands that what they are after, what fuels them is avarice, and what they are seeking to capture is not only government, but then they have to shut down the levers that allow us to demand transparency, to demand accountability, to hold our society together and object to their madness. All right, so we have to be prepared to face the oligarch and the authoritarian with the tool that is most powerful, and that is, again, information, and deny them their fuel. Now, we have a guest that is about to make this even clearer, who has dedicated their public career to naming both of those foes very clearly and speaking up for community. It goes with a representative that needs very little introduction. I'm not going to gild the lily because you all know the incredible, the fantastic, the, may I say, badass Representative Ilhan Omar. Please. So glad to see you.
Thank you so much for having me. It is truly an honor to be here with you all. As you've alluded to, we are all here tonight because we know that the strongest and the most lasting power rests with the people. And right now it is more important than ever that we use our power in every single way that we can to fight back against the authoritarian regime of the Trump administration. I know that so many Americans feel helpless right now. They feel powerless to stop ICE from terrorizing our communities and breaking up families. They feel frustrated by the lack of urgency from too many elected officials, and they feel overwhelmed by the scale of destruction that the Trump has inflicted on all of us, especially our country. And it is true that there is just a lot that is happening. It is really hard to take stock and just to even know how deep this all goes. But as much as Trump and his cronies want to act like we have no power to respond, the truth is we are more powerful than we think we are. And I want to underscore the importance of using every single leverage that we have at our arsenal, because we do have a lot of leverage. We need to make sure that those who are collaborating with the authoritarian regime pay a costly price, because we know all of these corporations don't care about us. They only care about their bottom line. And that's why we need to send them a message that they can actually hear, and that they will hear, and that they understand. And that is to say, if you want our businesses, if you want our money, then you have to cancel your contract with ICE. If you want our money and you want our business, you have to cancel your contract with Trump's authoritarian forces. You have to stop union busting. We have to make it loud and clear that if you do not support the American people are not going to support you. Some businesses have already learned this lesson. We are seeing that. Just look at what's happening with Target, that is headquartered in my district. They attracted customers with their strong commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And when they decided to roll back on their commitment to those communities and to those values without any real pressure from the Trump administration, their customer base plummeted. Their stock prices went crushing. Their CEO is departing. And that is all because of the power of the people. And that power is what we need to flex in this moment when it comes to Amazon, Home Depot, AT&T, and Starbucks. And there's probably a whole other list that people can choose to address. We need to show that these corporations, that they cannot take us for granted, that they can't hurt Black and brown workers and small businesses, that they can't hurt the LGBTQ communities and expect us to give our consent. Since I've been in Congress in 2019, I've fought hard to reduce corporate power. I've been on the front lines on working to overturn Citizens United, pass Medicare for All, eliminate corporate subsidies and stock buybacks, and advance a strong antitrust agenda. Our power in Congress is growing because of the people. And now we have more members who understand that people power is more important than corporate greed. And so we have to all stay committed to this fight, and we have to show them where power rests, and the power rests with the people. So thank you all so much for joining this call and for committing to using our collective power to hold these corporations and Trump's authoritarian regime accountable.
Wow, let's see some love for Congresswoman Umar in the chat. A real people's champion who's fighting for us every day. Alhamdulillah, it's so great to have one of our sisters really in there. Um, Congresswoman, it's a true honor to have you joining us tonight.
Thank you
Um,
all.
so you heard it here, folks, right out of the Congresswoman's mouth. Let's make these corporations pay the price for fascism. If they don't support us, we won't support them. So next, I'm thrilled to introduce another all-star that's deeply rooted in our communities, uh, former Senator Nina Turner from Ohio, to talk about the Target boycott.
Thank you and good evening, everyone. It's such a pleasure and a privilege to be with my sisters and brothers. I see you, Anna Lilia, family and friends from all over the country. Cleveland represent. Yes, yes, Cleveland is representing. Holly, I see you. I see you folks. Just sending so much love to all of you. You could have been anywhere this evening, on this Thursday evening, but you are here with us getting the assignment. You know, organized people can change things, and that is what we are doing right now. It is vitally important for me to share with you that the energy that we are fighting right now did not start with President Donald J. Trump, and it will not end with him. Conscious-minded people must always come together to fight against a force within a system that has been deliberately created to keep the everyday working class person down, no matter where they hail from. The fact of the matter is that under the Trump administration, it is in our face. Many of you who have been on the sidelines with me, you understand how I roll. I don't lift up any political party. Both of the political parties have been co-opted. As Minister Malcolm X once described the difference between the North and the South, he said is the difference between the fox and the wolf. At the end of the day, both want to eat you. Can I get a hello, somebody? That is why it is time for people power to mobilize in this moment and in many, many moments to come. I am here on behalf of the Mothership 3, and that is Tamika D. Mallory of Until Freedom, one of the co-founders, and also Pastor Jamal Bryant, New Birth, and my organization, We Are Somebody. In January, We Are Somebody sent a note or put out on public spaces to the CEO of Target that if you did not reverse course, that means don't bend the bigotry. You ain't got to bend the bigotry. Now in 2020, if it was the right thing to do to say that George Floyd could have been one of your workers, and then you decide to increase Black businesses in particular and other minority companies by extension in the business model of Target. If it was right in 2020, it's right in 2025. Our message to businesses like Target and others is don't bend to bigotry. As we know that there are so many other companies, Costco, we see you, who did not bend to bigotry. Ultra, we see you, pulled your stuff up out of Target, we see you, and many others that I am not naming. There is a way to do well and also to do good. But because Target did the right thing and lured Black people into the store, calling it Target and everything, just loving on Target, they did that. And then all of a sudden, when Trump gets in, you done turned your back on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So we had to let them know. So that came out on the 24th by CEO Brian. On the 25th, We Are Somebody was out there saying, we're going to give you a chance to reverse course. If you do not, we will start to boycott you on February the 1. That is what happened. So Tamika Mallory and myself came together. Pastor Jamal Bryant led the Target Fast. And here we are, oh my God, since February 1. And this is still going strong. We see market shares have decreased in Target. Foot traffic has decreased in Target. Target has messed around and they have found out. I want folks who are in the DC area that on Blacker Saturday, so we know we got Black Friday coming up right after Thanksgiving, and I call it Blacker Saturday, is that next day. Join us with the DC contingent. I'm about to give you an address right now so that you can join us. You can go on my social media platforms and others to get the information. But if you are in the DC area, on Blacker Saturday, now I don't even know if they call it that, Anna Lily, that's what I call it. On Blacker Saturday, you can be with myself, with leader Tamika Mallory and Pastor Jamal Bryant at 3100 14th Street Northwest in front of the busiest Target in the District of Columbia. Somebody put that in the chat for me. 3100 14th Street Northwest, Washington, D.C. That is the Columbia Heights community. Pastor Bryant will be there, leader Tamika Mallory will be there, yours truly will be there, and the DC Coalition. I want my sisters and brothers and family and friends on this call to understand that there's a group of folks in the District of Columbia that since this boycott of Target started, see, none of this happened by happenstance. It happened because we organized. It happened because millions of people across this country say, we see you, we got you, and we not going to shop at Target. That's how this happened. And so as we bring all the different forces together to look at all the different corporations that want to play footsie with a president that has made it clear that he is willing to starve his own people. Can I get a hello, somebody? We wonder why they didn't care about the babies over in Gaza. Well, the reason why they didn't care about the babies in Gaza because they don't care about the babies over here. Can I get a hello, somebody? It is the same energy. So let us not delude ourselves that if these corporations want to continue to play games, and if we want to have politicians who want to continue to play games, then we're going to show them, as my grandmother used to say, we can show you better than we can tell you. Sisters and brothers and family and friends, I want you to understand that we are fighting against a systemic wickedness. But the system was created to operate a certain way, and we can recreate it to operate in another way. It is not immutable. It does not have to stay this way, but we have got to be willing to make some requisite sacrifices. We have got to be willing to put aside the things that divide us and to come together to let the corporations know who are buying off politicians, both Democrats and Republicans. I'm gonna break this to you. Breaking news, both Democrats and Republicans are co-opted by a system that gives more opportunity, more voice to people who have more money. But guess what? They can't outnumber us. They can't out-organize us. The Target boycott is showing a very real example of what happens when people come together. We have been going that strong. We're going to keep it going. AT&T, I heard that here. Home Depot, I heard my brother Pablo say, hey, we got to slow down on that because we got some folks doing some things. We understand that. Everybody plays a different role on the field. The quarterback can't be the coach. The linebacker can't be the kicker. But what we do have to understand is whether or not we are on the same team. Those are the questions that people have to ask, and teams huddle on a regular basis. I thank God for this huddle tonight. We got to huddle more often. And finally, in the words of one of the greatest novelists of the 20th century, by the name of James Baldwin, he once said, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. We must face the fact that we are all we have, that nobody else is coming to save us. We might have some allies with some fancy titles. We might have some people who are in elected office who are trying their best to do the right thing. But unless there are people on the outside willing to lock arm and heart, we need some conscious-minded people to come together tonight and to declare that not on our watch will we continue to let fascism run amok. That we will not continue to let people who smile in our face, though. See, because there's no people that smile in our face. So we must challenge the duopoly. They both are corporately captured. And if the Democrats wanted to do the right thing, they would cut out corporate and dark money in primaries. But I'm going to put that in the parking lot because that ain't the lesson for today. Today is do what you can do where you are with what you have. And we, yes, we, the collective we, the way we've been able to overcome in the past is the way that we're going to be able to overcome in the present and into the future. That we have the past looking at us saying, we made the sacrifice, what about you? We are in the present right now making sacrifices for generations yet unborn who are going to look back and say, what did you do to be the change that you wanted to see in the world? What did you do to make a sacrifice? Not shopping at Target is not the biggest sacrifice that you can make, but big ups to the people who said we ain't going. And that is why that movement has been so successful. We are layering on other corporations. The message to corporations is if you've been to bigotry, you ain't getting our money. This is called an economic boycott. It has been done before in the tradition of Black liberation. Can I get a hello, somebody? The Montgomery bus boycott, 381 days. And baby, we coming up on that on the Target boycott. Can I get a hello, somebody? The pathway has already been shown. All we got to do is put a little 21st century on it. What they did not have in Montgomery in the 50s is they didn't have Zoom. They didn't have IG. They didn't have Twitter. They had none of that, but they had heart and they had conviction and they had a love for justice and a love for each other. That is the foundational principle that we need right now and moving forward. So let's just say we're going to boycott politicians too who don't do the right thing. Can I get a hello, somebody? Don't give them a dime. Don't give them a donation. We're going to boycott politicians that don't do the right thing as well. We're going to boycott politicians that take money from APAC. We're going to boycott politicians that take money from the pharmaceutical industry. We're going to boycott politicians who have sold their souls so that they can get another time in office. So just as we are boycotting these corporations, Sister Senator Turner is telling you we're going to boycott these politicians. We're going to hold them accountable for what they do and what they do not do. And our message is that don't bend to bigotry. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is a beautiful thing. It is a workers' rights. It is the way that this country should be going. Don't let nobody tell you that it's not. It's a beautiful thing. So we're going to start with the corporations that we have now. We're going to layer on, but baby, don't let these politicians off the hook. And I ain't talking about all of them. Either you're going to say amen or ouch. You might like a lot of these people, but baby, if they not standing up and ready to rock and roll for the people, we don't need them either. Yeah, we're going to primary a whole bunch of folks. I'm going to put all that in the parking lot. I love y'all all so very much. Anna Lily is laughing at me right now, baby, because I am bringing this thunder, this power, and this rain.
I'm not laughing at you.
Bringing it all, bringing it all, bringing it all. DC on Blacker Saturday, we will be there. Again, leader Tamika Mallory, Pastor Jamal Bryant, and yours truly. Join the DC coalition. If you are in the area, call a friend or friend me, baby. Let them know that we coming through. This is all love. This is serious business, though. Boycott, baby. That's where we at.
I love it. I love it. You know what? Every time you open your mouth, I feel like I'm at church. I have to say that is truth. And what was this? Systemic wickedness, y'all. This is exactly what we are facing in our nation. And Senator Turner made a point, reminds me yet again, we have seen this before and we have built our way out of this before. Like what greater example, what more clearer example of authoritarianism and weaponized government against its own people? Like what was Jim Crow? What was slavery? Right? These examples exist. And what was the civil rights movement? What were the movements to empower our people? They were built on, as Senator Turner said, community, information, taking action. And remember, y'all, the power of the action is always in the reaction. So we're going to keep following, moving, building, growing, winning. Now, talking about systemic wickedness, I think now I'm going to be sharing a little bit from the campaign around Starbucks, y'all. Now, we know for a very long time, Starbucks has found itself on the wrong side of history, and they are at it again. And I have the deep pleasure to introduce folks who are organizing over 12,000 Workers United members have been in the midst of one of the most highest profile fights against this multi-billion-dollar corporation. They're almost ubiquitous. They're everywhere. And yet their systemic wickedness is also clearly evident and everywhere. We know that for the last 4 years, Starbucks baristas have been powered on, they've been trying to move this impressive organizing campaign again by the incredible Union Workers United, which, those are my brothers and sisters. I've had the pleasure to organize with Workers United, and these members are incredible. They know that while CEO Brian Nickel was paid $96 million, y'all. $96 million for just 120 days of work. I mean, what does that work out to? I was a lit major, so I don't think I could do the math, but I'll tell you, it was crazy. This individual is just the embodiment of incredible and disastrous greed. And we know in the next few weeks and months, SEIU members, Workers United members, are going to be organizing across industry to make sure that we uplift these unionized baristas, that we uplift the work that they're doing. There's a bunch of local strike lines and tentpole actions I'm going to be sharing, or if someone could please share the www.nocontractnocoffee.org. Folks can get plugged in right now on this campaign, but I think I'm going to be able to hand it to, I believe, Daisy Pitkin and Jasmine Lely, who are going to share more about how we can fight back and win with Starbucks, y'all. So Daisy, Jasmine, take it away.
Thank you so much, Ana Lilia. What an honor to be here with so many powerful people tonight. And I see you all in the chat already saying that you are standing with workers, not crossing the picket line. And by that, we mean don't go to any Starbucks or buy any Starbucks products from now until this strike is over. And we're going to tell you why. So I'm Daisy Pitkin. I have the great honor to be the national director of this really inspiring youth-led Starbucks Workers United campaign. Over the last 4 years, 12,000 baristas have unionized their Starbucks stores, a sweeping wave of youth organizing that has captivated the nation. They've organized with unprecedented speed, winning a union election every other day for the last 3.5 years. Their union stores are everywhere, from small towns to major cities across 45 states and the District of Columbia. In just about every community where they've organized, they've inspired other young workers to organize their workplaces. Their vision is simple and clear. Organizing their workplaces is a way to build workplace democracy, which is essential to maintaining a democratic society. Starbucks responded to their organizing with a vicious anti-union campaign. Starbucks is now the worst labor law violator in U.S. history, having fired over 300 young emerging leaders and threatening, surveilling, bribing, and disciplining hundreds more. Starbucks is an iconic American company. You know it, you see it on every corner, right? One that has spent billions of dollars carefully cultivating a progressive brand. But there is nothing progressive about union busting. But Starbucks workers continue to organize. They continue to fight back against union busting, and they continue to demand a fair union contract. In 2024, Starbucks finally came to the table and started bargaining a first contract with union workers. We were making slow, steady progress toward an agreement until Trump was elected last fall. Since then, we've seen a sea change in the C-suite at Starbucks, back toward relentless union busting and a refusal to address the economic needs of workers. And we've seen Starbucks cozying up to this administration. CEO Brian Nickel flew to RFK's office for a photo op and to have a discussion with him about how Starbucks is going to maha the menu. To protest the return to union busting and refusal to settle a contract, Starbucks workers are currently engaged in the largest strike in the country. Right now, today, 2,000 Starbucks workers are on strike in 65 cities, and thousands more are prepared to join them in the coming weeks. Starbucks workers and their escalating actions, picketing at stores, blocking trucks at Starbucks distribution centers, and calling on consumers and allies to stop buying Starbucks at any store anywhere while workers are on strike is all about economic non-cooperation. That's what this call is about tonight. We're figuring out how to work together to not cooperate with the powers that be. Starbucks workers can win this fight, but they're going to need you and all of your friends and your neighbors and your community and your family to stand with them, to use your wallets to strike along with them. I'm going to turn it over to Jasmine Lally now, one of my personal heroes, a barista in Buffalo, New York, and a strike captain who took her store out on strike today.
Thank you, Daisy, and thank you everyone for being here and standing with us. I want to tell you about what's happening for us, for the baristas. We're your cousins, sisters, nieces, mothers, brothers, and everything in between. We're people just like you. Last Thursday, over 1,000 union baristas walked out at 65 stores across 40 cities. We're no longer going to tolerate this company continuing to violate our rights. No company should be above the law, not even a behemoth like Starbucks. Since Brian Niccol took over as CEO of the company and Trump got elected, Starbucks stopped bargaining with our union in good faith and started committing labor union violations again. They really think that they can break us, but they can't because we're so united in our solidarity. In the last year, our union has had to file over 150 new ULP charges against Starbucks. Yesterday, striking baristas and hundreds of our supporters blockaded shipments at the company's largest distribution center in York, PA. We're escalating. We're done. We need this contract. And we're going to fight and protest this company's labor rights violations to win our fair contract because it's what we deserve. Our fight is righteous and the workers are all in, and we know that we can win. What we want is simple: for the company to respect our right to organize and bargain a contract with us that will resolve some of the real issues that we face at our workplace: short staffing, unpredictable schedules, and low pay. When we win, it won't just be a win for 12,000 union baristas. It'll be a win for a generation of activists, young and some a little older like myself, and everyone in between, who are eager to fight for the democratic heart of our nation and are earning and learning the skills they need to fight for democracy, even beyond the workplace. Our victory at Starbucks will be critical at this time for union rights. The fight for the union rights is a fight for democracy. We will win, but we need your help. All of us together, we can pull this off. We need you to back us. The no contract, no coffee pledge is being dropped in the chat right now. Please sign it. Send a message to Starbucks that you will not shop at any Starbucks during the duration of our strike. Share the pledge on your social media, text it to your friends and family, and ask them to sign it today. We have a no contract, no coffee .org website, and you can find a picket line in your area. You just enter your city and state and show up for us, and we can bring this home for all of us. We truly do appreciate your support. If you see a picket line, jump on, even if it's only for 5 minutes. If you see us on socials, please leave a positive message for us, and we can bring this thing home.
Oh,
Thank you.
goodness. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Thank you so much, Daisy. I want to also thank y'all. We have such powerful organizers across this country. So, like, please, let's give it up for, of course, Ab West and Soma Arias, Pablo Alvarado, of course, Congresswoman Omar, the inspiring Senator Nina Turner. And now to bring us home, y'all. I mean, we know that when we fight, what do we do, y'all? When we fight, put it in the chat. You know what we do. When we fight, we win, fam. And we can do this. We have seen it before. We have done it before. Our movements are powered by the people, and our people are powered by this righteousness. So I want to hand it back to my brother from another mother, who's going to take it home, is going to recap some of these calls to action and give us some. Actually, I think we have another little bit of what are we doing? How do we line up? So handing it back to you, Sakib, and thanks y'all for this incredible gaggle up.
Thank you, Ana Lilia. Wow, what a great lineup of speakers talking about so many important fights and so many different ways to plug in. Thank you all for sharing your struggles with us tonight. So we're going to pause the chat now while we share some links with you all. Right, so first, we want to give a special shout out to We Ain't Buying It, our co-sponsor for this call tonight. You can sign the We Ain't Buying It pledge at weain'tbuyingit.com. Please sign up for a strike and solidarity school near you, and the link for that will also be in the chat. Let's tell Home Depot to do its part to protect immigrants. To plan an action at Home Depot, go to iceoutofhomedepot.org. Pledge not to shop at Target, Amazon, or Whole Foods, and not to use Airbnb or sign up for new or renewed services with AT&T and T-Mobile during the holiday season. Go to athenaforall.org to learn more about the fight against Amazon and Whole Foods. Text Drop ICE or Bota ICE to 51767 to tell AT&T to drop its ICE contract. Head to nocontractnocoffee.org to support striking Starbucks workers by signing the pledge to boycott Starbucks. And finally, sign up to host a nonviolent action on Black Friday outside of one of these stores at bit.ly/holiday-actions. Let's plan hundreds of actions all around the country on Black Friday to send a clear message to these corporate fascists. Again, that's bit.ly/holiday-actions. The only way to stop authoritarianism is if we all come together and do our part. These are some very easy steps we can all take to drive up the cost of fascism for these corporate enablers. So thank you all for joining us tonight on this call. Now get out there and show these fascist corporations that we won't support them if they won't support us. Good night, everyone.
Ship the boxes, they swiffer and they mop and look chipper. We're never talking and whipping the shopping carts. They pack the beer in the walk-ins and stack the weird little boxes. Keep our kitchen fridges stocked and our financial markets solvent. They clocking for a pithy $50 and bear the coffin of like 60 thrifty chuds and get spit on like sitting ducks. So they are sick of getting fucked. So you ever wanted to honor them? Here's my ask for all my hominids. Collective bargaining, Amazon and Target and FedEx and Walmart and Instacart and Whole Foods till we all get what we ought to get. Workers run the company. There isn't any argument. So are you with them? Are you in? El Pueblo, unido, jamás será vencido. El Pueblo, unido, jamás será vencido. El Pueblo, unido, jamás será vencido. Jamás será vencido. Jamás será vencido. Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Which side are you on, my people? Which side are you on? Imagine a minute, millions of average women and men in the tragic position of trading in passion for wages and cash because they shackled by capitalism. Imagine a minute, millions of average Favorite citizens planting the spinach and waxing the kitchens and stacking the linens. Contractors and renters and tenants, the labor extracted for pittance. What if they coordinated to address the sort of state of it in an organization? Cause fucking what? That's what organized labor does. And not even sort of, it's more of the crux. Taking the power from hoarders of bucks, big bankers offshore and they cuts. Returning the value of labor to those who created the billionaires. Owe it to us. So if you dated and early about waking up early, then earning back. If you sad about burning, if you got a curious yearning and had it with passively lurking, we got your back and we happy to have you out on the picket line, actively working, going. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? El Pueblo, unido. Jamás será vencido. El Pueblo, unido. Jamás será vencido. El Pueblo, unido. Jamás será vencido. El